Is your workshop constantly a mess? Every tool is misplaced, parts scattered everywhere. It's honestly a never-ending battle. But I finally found a way to bring some serious order to this chaos. With the help of 3D printing and some clever upgrades from Flexispot, I'm going to show you how I turned this workshop around using some easy to print solutions. Ones you can download for free and use in your own space. Let's get into it. So next up is actually going to be this honeycomb wall here, which is actually a super cool idea. Basically, you have these attachment points that just go straight into the honeycomb wall. So it's just so easy to put something in. Bam. Now, the one downside to this is the fact that they don't come out very easy. So if you do want to remove them, it's a little bit more of a process. So just make sure where you're going to put stuff is where you actually want it. So now I do a lot of bike maintenance, so I need access to all of my tools easily. Now, one of the only problems here is the fact that my new desk is actually in front of this wall, and it blocks me actually being able to access this wall. So I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to fix that. If anyone has any ideas, let me know down in the comments below, because I need some help. All right, so next up, we got to get a little high here, because we have to actually check out what's up on my wall right here. And this is one of my filament storage systems that I have printed. I wish I was actually a bit lower because it is kind of a pain to get to, but it is kind of nice and out of the way at the same time. Now, this particular print, you do need to actually have something a little extra to make this work. As you can see, these wooden dowels, you are going to need to go to like Home Depot and Lowe's and pick that up. But the actual brackets themselves are 3D printed. And it's actually a really cool design and a really cool idea. If you are going to have one that's this long, I would recommend having a support system every 2 feet or so, just because it is a lot of weight that you're trying to support. And most importantly, you want to make sure that you're actually hitting the studs when you put these in. It's actually really easy to get filament in and out, so you literally just grab up and pull it out. And when you put it back, it goes right in the spot. Sits in between the 2 dowels, and you're good to go. Now let's get down and check out this next item. All right, so now let's talk about one of the bigger upgrades of the workshop, and that has got to be this Flexispot E6 standing desk. Huge shout out to them for sending this out to really upgrade my workshop here. What's cool about this is it can hold up to 355 pounds going up and down. With these printers on here, which can weigh quite a bit sometimes, this desk is not gonna struggle to lift them up and down. Now, as you can see here up on the screen, I really tested this thing out by having both myself, my eldest son hop up on here, and we rode this thing all the way up and down multiple times like it was a roller coaster. They actually had a lot of fun doing this. With that much weight on it, it definitely wasn't the fastest, but you know what? It still got the job done. Now, one of my favorite features about the desk is it did come with some casters, so that way I can actually move this desk around very easily. It just kind of glides around without a problem. Now, one of the big things about having a standing desk for working on printers is the fact that it allows you to raise everything up or lower it down, and it really allows you to get into the printers more easily. Even with the caster wheels, it is super steady and stable without any issues here. And you know what, if I wanted to, I could ride this thing up and go for a little ride. All right, here we go. Now, as I ride this up, it does have a 15-year warranty, which is really cool. It does have this really awesome bamboo top that just looks awesome. Personally, I'm gonna be using this for a lot of like top-down thumbnail shots. It's got a really easy to use controller that you can just preset certain spots. So, you know, if you want to have a particular standing height, or if you need it to be nice and low, you can pre-program those to be wherever you need. And I'm officially out of frame. All right, as I ride this thing down, this is the Flexispot dual motor E6. If you want to check one of these out, hit the link down in the description below. And thanks again, Flexispot, for sending this thing out. So now there is one problem with this particular desk, and that's the fact that on my old desk I had a drawer where I could actually store some stuff, and it was just really nice and handy to have. This doesn't have a drawer, but we're gonna fix that with the power of 3D printing and thanks to these files that I'll have linked down below. These are 3D printed drawers that I was actually able to add to this desk, and they're good and they're bad. So let's get into that here. These ones are kind of cool because they lock in and they don't pull out all the way. whereas these other ones do come out all the way, which is good and bad. So now these actually install pretty easily. You have these little brackets here that you're actually gonna screw into the bottom of the desk. You have a left and a right, and then you have some middle ones that kind of have slots for both sides. As you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 drawers here, and I've actually purposely left a middle one on the end so that way I can continue to add more drawers as I need them. Now you might be wondering what's actually in the drawers. In this one here in particular, I haven't quite gotten everything set up here. I have my glue sticks, I have my extra hot ends. On this one, I've got my A1 kit that came with it. I've got my lubes and my greases, a couple more glue sticks. And on this one is actually a Gridfinity drawer, which is super cool. So I've got my deburring tool and some slots here for extra parts. And on this final one, which is also a Gridfinity, I have my clippers, and then also right here is where my scraping tool lives. So it's always nice and easily accessible. Here's another cool one right here. This is a really cool way to store all your build plates. It is all 3D printed with the exception of needing some screws. It's really cool because you can just grab the build plate that you need and slide it right back in. It gives you a space to hold all your build plates where they're easy to access and they're separated. They're just not all stacked up and thrown inside a drawer like they were before. All right, I know it's ironic, this area is an absolute mess, but we're gonna talk about the next thing that can really help organize your workshop and your toolboxes in particular this time. These custom fit trays that have the ability to interlock with each other. And I love these because it just gives you a space to organize the inside of your toolbox. In addition to these trays, I also have these awesome socket holders. Gives you a nice place to hold all of your sockets in an organized fashion. This one in particular even has the sizes printed in on it, and it's an awesome thing to have. And even better is that these are Gridfinity. Gridfinity is just so awesome because they just snap into wherever you need it to go. Now in this drawer, Gridfinity is set up and it's working and it's amazing. I haven't fully filled everything out yet, but as you can see, I have these small cubes ready to go. Everything is just in here so nicely. Gridfinity is amazing. I love it. And it's probably a must-have for just about any setup. So here in my top drawer, I have this system set up where they are all actually connected to each other. I can pick up this whole piece and it's all together. Obviously, I could do a better job of organizing the stuff in here, but everything's a work in progress. But these bins are just so nice. They're so easy to print. They have these little spots right here where you can add the connector pins to make sure everything stays together. I'll have links down below for all of this in case you guys are wanting to pick these up. As you can see, I still have a lot of work to do in organizing mine. Now, if you guys have any tips or tricks, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about, any files that have really helped your space really get organized.